Now, there are a ton of common boat failures that happen all the time just by having a boat. So this morning, we're gonna go over to the Coast Guard station, which is down in Marathon, Florida, in the Florida Keys, and they're gonna show us how they inspect their boats every day to catch boat failures before they happen, so that way they can get them fixed and keep their boats on the water. All right, so we're here at the boats. This is one of the diesel boats, and then there's another one over there. These are their outboard boats. There's quite a few here. And then I'm here with Ian, and Ian's going to be running us through the checklist. So every day you pretty much have this one checklist, and you guys run through the boat. You have all the engineer department, I guess is what this is, right? The engineer department?
Yeah, so we'll have both our engineering department maintaining and doing the boat checks on the engineering gear, the mechanical side of things. We also have our deck department, our bosun mates, running through and checking all the outfit on everything, making sure they're going to run most of the electronics, check communications and stuff like that. They're going through making sure all the lines are there, things like that, our search and rescue gear.
Okay, awesome. So let's take a look at the checklist here. Run us through all your checks.
So it's written extraordinarily, like, not complicated, it's step by step. So I mean, the very first step, checking bilges for excessive lube oil, fuel oil, coolant. It's going to walk you through every single thing, even if it may seem, you know, self-explanatory. Yeah, I want to check my bilges for fluids. It's going to tell you which fluids shouldn't be in there. You know, it's going to break it down really, really well. It's written so that somebody who's never stepped on this boat before could, you know, read through this, and if you know what a bilge is, you can check a bilge. You know what I mean? If you know what a diesel engine is, you're going to be checking this, 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 and this. And usually in the back, there's even like pictures. It's broken down into pictures in the back.
Wow.
That if you don't know where the strainers are located, that you need to verify or clear and you need to cycle, it's going to tell you exactly where that is. So if we had somebody come from, you know, the other side of the country and didn't have a whole lot of experience, but they're an engineer, we could hand this to them in a situation where, you know, we are very short-handed or we have a lot of operations going on and we need some, call it surge personnel sent from other places. They can come down here, we can hand them this and say, go get it, man, you know? So
gotcha.
It's extremely useful.
Gotcha.
But after bilges and stuff, like I said, everything. We're going to go through every compartment of the boat. We're going to go through forward all the way to aft, checking all bilges, and then we're going to go forward all the way aft, checking every fluid within a piece of equipment. So, you know, the diesel engines, we're checking coolant, we're checking lube oil, things like that.
All right, and so they've pretty much already started all this, and they're just running through their checklist. You got 4 guys checking everything, so I'm guessing it runs pretty quick, huh?
Yeah. I'd say average time when we get 2 people down here. You know what I mean? If they break it up, you get 2 people on each boat. Average boat check, without like having to wait for it to run up and get up to temp before we shut it down, I'd say probably take you 10 minutes. If you get 2 people running pretty good.
Okay.
They got their stuff together.
Awesome. So let's get on the boat and kind of see where they're at in the middle of their check.
Step on.
This here's Cody, the man. He's the
MK1.
The MK1 main guy here. Cody, walk us through some of the stuff that's going on right now.
We're just getting into our checklist here. So down there in the center line on both sides is our engine oil. We'll check down there. Check the center bilge just below where you're standing there. You can see it's clean and dry down there.
Yep.
That's basically our lowest point. We just make our way around in a circle. So just behind you back here, we have the oil for our bearing box back here. There's dipstick. It's an extended dipstick right there.
Okay.
That silver one, and there's one on the port side as well. Everything's redundant on this boat except for our hydraulic tank. We just have one of them, so we'll check that over there. Our reduction gear oils are just under here. It's hard to see the dipstick, but it's located just on top of the red gear right there. There. Yeah, there's one right over down here.
Gotcha.
And there's one on the port engine as well. Right on back here in the lazarette, check to make sure our C suction valves are open. That's these two large pipes. There's vertical handles. They're in vertical position, so they're on. And once we start the boat, we make sure we have overboard discharge to make sure we have raw water flow as well.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of our hydraulics are back here, checking to make sure the system's intact, nothing's leaking. You can see these, this block right here, and as well as that one. These, we call them DCVs, directional control valves. We just replaced those, so they're all looking pretty good right now.
Nice.
Yeah, these boats are made around 2010 to 2012 time frame, so
okay,
they're getting some age on them. A lot of them are going 5,000 to 6,000 hours, or sometimes even more. Some of the engines are going longer. We just extended the lifespan that we're allowed to run these engines, and they're doing some research and development about extending them because these boats are remaining in service longer than they were expected in the beginning. So they've been pretty good to us, but we're trying to maintain them well enough to continue pushing forward for us.
So you're getting 5,000 to 6,000 hours out of the diesels here?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
And that's over a period of, right now you said 12, so that's like about 13 years now?
It could be a shorter lifespan. That's these engines particularly, but
right,
sometimes they get a haul out, they'll get a new one in, they'll rebuild those back to the warehouse.
Okay.
That sort of a thing. But the hull itself is got about 6,000 hours on this one.
Oh, wow.
We have two of these boats.
You know the normal lifespan of the boat itself before they start getting new ones or getting rid of them?
I think we're playing it by ear.
Yeah.
Big Coast Guard's got a better answer on you for that. We're just trying to take care of these ones.
Gotcha.
These 33s over here, this is our older one. I believe this one's in the 12,000 hour time frame for the hull.
Oh, really?
And it's had a whole family of outboards come and gone since then, but these hulls are older. They're obviously beyond their expected service life, and they're still performing really well for us.
Right. What is the expected service life of the engines?
At a time in the Coast Guard, I don't know, they're expecting the boats to let an aluminum hull boat in saltwater to last approximately 10 years.
Okay.
Many of them have been exceeding that.
Okay.
So every platform as it comes out, I'm sure they're evaluating as it continue on.
Gotcha.
We're probably getting close to getting ready to start the boat here. I'll double check with him. I think he's checking some lights outside.
Okay. So you check the front, which is he's checking the lines, checking the lights, basically the electrical systems first?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Austin out there up forward, he's checking the outfit, which is like the inventory of the boat, making sure all of our items are here. I'm in engineering, we're checking all of our systems.
Okay.
Yep.
So you got two different, he's the BM, and they check the boat inventory and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. He's a deck department. He's checking all the rescue survival equipment. So we'll start the engines now. After we check our system pressures and stuff, we'll start our generators. Once we got generator power, I'll shift over from shore to gen power, and we'll test all the systems as they're online.
Gotcha.
So here's the port engine. You can see right up on here, this is production gear, this is our transmission pressure over here, this is our engine pressure and temperatures. So after we start the boat, after we start an engine, we check those values. Yep. So we're looking for, the mid 30s over here, and this is the normal resting pressure at idle with a cold engine. I'll start starboard now. Hey, I'm starting starboard. Okay. Same thing over there. And now we'll kick on both of our generators as we walk out to check overboard discharge. They're just right behind you here, sir. Gen 1 and 2 panels. Put it over to charge, and it's syncing up right now. When I stop getting these flashing lights, it'll be taking on power. Okay. Now we check overboard discharge, make sure that we're cooling. They're already back there, so hey, can we check overboard discharge? Overboard discharge. Good.
You got tacks here too, huh?
What's that?
You got tacks here too.
Yeah, so this is referred to as the engineer's seat over here.
Okay.
This is the engineer's console. So they can see most of the systems that our drivers can as well.
Okay.
Normally we're watching the engine camera from over here, couple second radar, those kinds of things. But yeah, this display is our bread and butter. We're monitoring this. As the boat's running, we're doing rounds on the engine regularly. We're doing rounds digitally. We're checking the cameras, and sometimes we're going back aft, opening the hatches up routinely, taking a look inside there.
Gotcha.
Catch something before it happens.
So you've got a camera here that shows down in the engine compartment?
I do.
That's
fire it
sweet.
up. See if it works good.
Okay.
All those are online. Shift down all my, I'll shift down all my breakers just a minute. So we'll switch over to Gen Power right here. That's much better. And I'll display the Gen Power. We have power inverters that the breakers for them are right here, and they automatically handle the switching back and forth. So, you know, the average person can come out here and pretty quickly learn how to run this boat and the systems on it, shift power back and forth as needed and stuff, and it makes a big difference in us in like how we train people, so it helps us a lot.
Gotcha.
So we'll bring all the breakers online now. On here we got vital and non-vital systems. They're labeled. You can see these lines here, so it's broken into 4 buses.
Okay.
And there's displays for those right there. So I'm bringing them all online right now. We've got a 12 volt and 24 volt system on these buses. And then the generators make higher voltage, and that all gets converted into DC for us. And this is our main DC panel right here.
All right, so you got vital and non-vital. So on our vital, we're talking build systems, communication stuff,
Yes, sir.
displays, depth sounder, converters, the horn, the radome.
Yep, and you can see over, like I said, these boats they're a little bit older now, so over time they've reconfigured some things. So we've got some touch-ups on the labels here because we've gone to different systems. You know,
Gotcha.
we've used Garmin, we've used Raymarine, different systems now. So that's our new navigation package, is a Raymarine package. Yeah, so like, remember how I said everything's redundant on this boat? So we've got our engine secondary, our controls for our engines there. But
Yep.
if that breaker fails, that's a 32 amp breaker right there. If that fails or something happens, it's on a secondary breaker over here. So we
Okay.
can shift if there's a problem with that circuit. And then the non-vitals, like your general lighting and like condensation pumps for air conditioning, things like that.
Gotcha. Where's the stereo?
We don't have stereo. I got VHF radios. Yeah, no stereos. Yeah, so let's do a sweep around. So after we bring everything online and our generators are synced up with our solid lights, come over here, bring on all the electronics. Starting over here with the radio. So this is our VHF radio.
Yep.
This is our unsecured VHF. We got some displays, HF transmitter, direction finder, floodlights. I think I saw them check those earlier. It's not something we use very often. We use HF when we're like significantly far offshore, if needed.
Okay.
Have an air horn, and it's compressor driven.
Okay.
So we'll give that a moment to build pressure, and then we'll test the air horn. These window systems over here, you see there's a pneumatic seal on the window. So we usually run with these windows shut, the air conditioning on, and in the event of an extreme event or something, if we roll over, these pressurized windows stay shut for us. They keep us safe, keep the water out.
Okay.
But if we need to get out of the window, we have a deflate valve, deflate the seal, open the window, or if it's nice outside, we can open it. But that's a pretty critical component there.
Yeah, so that's basically like a tire tube there that
Exactly.
inflates with air
Yes,
and
sir.
keeps that pneumatically sealed. That's pretty sweet.
That runs right off the same compressor we're running for the air horn right now.
Okay. What's that? That trim control?
This guy here?
Yeah.
So we have 2 stations to drive at, one
Okay.
here and there. They're exactly the same. Over this one, you have the docking feature though. So this basically, I have this one as well. These are our
Okay.
steering controls. There's forward, the stern, header, obviously. This doesn't go left and right here, port starboard, right? But if we shift over to docking mode, this boat's got a special program in the jet controls where if we run this over to the side, the operator can walk the boat. It will walk the boat, or crab as we call it, over to port, and all they would have to do is control the input of the bow right here. So this boat can drive sideways or even pull sideways, and you just control the bow of the boat. So it helps us dock in difficult situations sometimes. It's also just convenient. Then there's transit mode, which is just ahead of stern, and you drive port starboard with your nozzle here.
Okay, so this is a jet drive.
It's a jet drive.
And then this is basically your steering left and right, or that basically controls like what, a bow thruster, or?
It's not a bow thruster, it's all jet controls back in the stern, same as you would control a jet ski.
Okay.
Only this has, obviously a lot more program to it. But yeah, these are inline six Detroit diesels, turbocharged to a jet propulsion system with a lot of computer management to it. It helps the operator drive it. People refer to this as, it's like driving in a video game.
Right.
Very user friendly.
Awesome.
Now, if you are only conditioned to a propeller only style of boat, this would be something new to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put this on split screen here. Alright, so we got radios all over. This is our bow hailer.
So we can see the engine room when driving. It's awesome. Not the biggest one, but it's kind of like you can see where something shoots out if you have water or whatever.
Right. There's a hose clamp brakes or whatever.
Kind of like a best way of if like all of it's closed and you have a fire, like check that first.
Yeah.
Before you try and pop some stuff open.
It's interesting. So no zip ties. Everything's clamped with Otis clamps.
Yep. There might be a zip tie here or there, but not very many in this cabin.
Right.
Yeah, just kind of like engine wire harness maybe. Pretty ordinary radar and chart plotter as other people would have. We got a lot of pre-programmed charts in here. Areas that we should and shouldn't drive. We've scoped out the depth, and everyone's gone through and double checked it, but we have to constantly check it because out here in the Florida Keys and really a lot of places, a casual storm comes through and the depths all change a little bit. So it's only as good as when it was last surveyed.
Yeah. Yep.
More drivability systems over there. Like I said, pretty much redundant except our compass is over here. Mike, you want to clutch in and check throttles and valves and all that?
Yeah, I can.
Just demonstrate that. So he's gonna put it in gear. Well, first he's gonna check steering. We got a display right here. So on here, you see port and starboard nozzle steering input. Now it's kind of a glare. We have another one back here if you want to try it. But
let's try that one.
Yeah, you try that one right there. You can see it if you like.
So it's basically like a rudder reference.
It's a rudder reference, yep. We don't technically have a rudder in the water, but it's our nozzle. Yep.
Yeah.
Our steering nozzle. I don't know if that helps.
That's what the crab walk we were talking about.
Right, so that is docking function. So you see it's putting port ahead, starboard to stern, or now vice versa, and a little bit of starboard nozzle effort. And that program that's made in there is enough to walk the boat sideways for us.
I see. So what's the BKT? That
is a bucket.
Bucket. And the NOZ?
Nozzle input.
Nozzle input.
It's like our rudder. The bucket is our ahead and the stern, and the INT in the top side. Yeah. That's interceptor input. You're not going to see those move very much right now because we have to be up a certain speed.
Okay.
Some people know what interceptors are, some don't.
That's like it's like trim tabs.
Okay.
You can kind of put it.
It's like
gotcha.
An active trim tab.
Alright, now you're engaged. So now you can see all the kind of water wash, even though we're neutral.
Yep.
Getting pushed around.
In gear now.
You can see it.
Yeah, you can go back there if you like, or whichever.
Obviously, we have to be careful. Somebody by the boat or walking around.
That was just the steering method. So the buckets, you're able to steer the boat without moving. So right now, if we were on away from the pier, I'd go full circle.
Gotcha.
Just without like having any like forward momentum.
Yeah, it's a intense swing.
And then like with docking, kind of literally I could just kind of like move to the left. And it's almost like having
Joystick.
yeah, more joysticks with the little bow thrusters, like thrusters.
Yeah,
kind of.
yep.
But then like our kind of like our tail likes to kick out, so you just kind of have to like steer your bow. But I can move very straight sideways from here. And then you see the jets kind of from your vector display. They'll kind of move in that way that you're doing it. It'll be that whole weird configuration.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, that's about it for that. Just gotta check, make sure you get throttle response. Station that on, station that on. Once ready to check forward to over.
Testing our radio here with our watch stander upstairs. You're gonna come back. Now he's shifting over from our UHF radio to our secured VHF radio on the starboard side.
Okay.
Same thing.
Station marathon, station marathon from the 1-6, check 1-1 over.
Raptor 1-6, station marathon, ready, loud and clear on me.
Station from the 1-6, they saying nothing really wants to go. You guys already check all your lights?
Yeah, all the lights are done.
Okay.
I think we're gonna head down below in a sec here.
Okay.
Check a couple things out down there. Watch your step down here, sir. And your head.
Yep.
Alright, I'm disengaged now. Y'all are good.
Thanks. We'll just run port starboard here. So we do have a tiny microwave in here. We do have a head in here if we need to stay in this boat for longer than we expected.
That's fine.
Nothing too glorious. I got some supplies, equipment in there, the towing kit, those sorts of things. That's right. There you go. So this is our first aid kit. It's a new style we just went to. All of our boats usually got a first aid kit on them. Out here in Florida, we have the migrant mission. We also have search and rescue, all those other missions that are associated with us. So we carry a lot of extra life jackets on this boat in the event that we come across a handful of people needing them. There's just a bunch of lockers down here. We refer to this whole area as the survivor's compartment.
Okay.
Pyrotechnics, should we need them. We got personal flares, and then we've got some to light up an area for a search, like a white parachute flares, those sorts of things. Use them once in a while. This thing's pretty interesting when we do operations with helicopters. Over back on our towing post over there, it's a little bit of a snag hazard, like any cleat would be. There's a guard that goes around it to reduce that hazard when we got lines from a helicopter, that sort of thing.
I was wondering what that was. I was like, wasn't that?
Yeah. You'd almost think it's like a stabilization collar, but
Right, yeah.
yeah, it's just to reduce the snag hazard. Got some potable water here.
Okay.
Jump seats for people. There's some personal protective equipment in this. Supplies for, just ordinary supplies that people would need.
Right.
I've got an entangler here, should we have to use that on a boat in the case of a pursuit, or if a vessel's non-compliant, if it comes to that. And this is what Austin was checking down here when he was checking the outfit of the boat. he made sure all these items were here and where they're supposed to be. Some extra backup air horns, space blankets. There's like a harness in here for hoist operations, those sorts of things.
Okay.
Some pillows. This is our second air conditioner. There's one up there, one down here. You know, it's hot. It's hot here.
Yeah.
It's very hot. It's especially hot down in this survivor's compartment. So
yeah,
the AC up and down. Under here we got a damage control kit. Yeah, it's under the deck. It's in a bag all stowed right now, but there's ordinary DC items in there like hammers, blocks, saws, measuring tape, those sorts of things. Should we have to patch something, be it ourselves or help somebody else, we have the items needed. This is a harness for the gunner to use. They would have that on already for a mission. Then if we need to be outside or inside, hook into something, we can snap in and keep ourselves safe from being ejected in like a high-speed turn or something.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it. There's an escape hatch above your head there and a ladder associated in the event that we need to get out that way or somebody does. But there's a fire suppression system on the boat here. This is the actuating bottle for it. And right near, in the event of that kind of an emergency, is the fuel shutoffs. We pull these, cut the fuel.
Okay.
We've got a few ways to stop the engine. That's one of them. There's the ordinary buttons. I have emergency stops at the engineer console here. I can drop all the batteries with the automatic switches here. So, you know, like I said earlier, redundancy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we're like preppers.
And you got multiple controls from multiple stations where, you know, if one person's
down,
right,
yeah,
then
absolutely.
you can do the person back here, whatever, can handle it.
And everybody that qualifies on these boats for the different watch stations we have on them, whether it's the person driving, or the engineer, or the crewman, everybody's been trained how to drive this boat, how to navigate this boat safely back to the house at least to get us home. You know, and if we were running this boat and we have only, you know, 4 people on this boat, and God forbid 2 people get an injury or something, those other 2 could get the boat back. Or drop an anchor if they need to and wait for help. So we gotta train for all those things. We've got a binder in here usually. I won't bore you with it, but it's a binder. It's all of our like ordinary drills that we practice and are required. We're both required to maintain. And thank you, sir. Yeah. So we actually get evaluated and tested on these drills that we run, just like any larger company or cruise ship. Those crews have to run drills. We have to do exactly the same thing.
Yep. Practice for preparation.
That's about it for testing everything on this boat. England, did you get the oil samples yet?
Yeah. Do you want that on video or?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna pull some oil samples. We pull oil samples every single day.
Okay.
On both these diesel boats. Every day we pull oil samples, bring them inside, they cool down, and we'll test the viscosity. So if there is something failing early in our boats, we'll know, at least in some avenues, we'll know if the oil viscosity changes. We catch that early. So we're gonna top our boats off once in a while on oil, but it's a pretty small sample that we pull. System on this boat for if the bilge floods, like it trips the float switch in there, or if there's a smoke alarm. We have a central alarm system on this boat, so if something happens, it'll broadcast on the siren. So our crew that's among the base here will come out and respond to it. So good sense of security for us. It's right here in our. Yeah, sometimes we may have very few people on the base because everybody's out operating, you know, and even a guy inside the building would hear this thing and be able to respond to it.
Okay. So basically, after all your checks, you come in here, you let the oil sit so it can cool down, and then you
Right.
run a viscosity check.
Yeah, so we're just making sure we don't have a lot of water in these. All right.
Gotcha.
We're checking it against brand new oil.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our control.
Gotcha.
Pour it in here.
And it's not going to be accurate because it's all hot, but we're just so that people can kind of see what.
Right.
Yeah, there's enough to do like 3 samples, and we only need to do 1, so we can pull 1.
Gotcha.
Do one for each side. There we go. Dump that out. Okay. Well, I'll light up with the top line first. Make sure we get an accurate reading. There we go. I'll do.
Then explain what you're going to do before you do it.
So I'm just gonna press the button. They're all gonna go down at the same time, and I'm gonna base my results off of this one because this is the clean oil.
Okay.
So the ones that, if they drop faster, they have some fuel oil dilution, you know, some diesel mixed in with them. So
Okay.
he's gonna stop dropping them as soon as the first one of them gets the lowest, and that will tell us the rating once we get there.
So once of these drop to the bottom line, I'll stop it, see where this one's at, and tell the difference.
Gotcha.
So you can see these two are dropping a lot faster because it's hot.
Yeah.
So it won't be an accurate reading, but so I'll stop it right there. Obviously, huge difference, but that's because it's hot.
Yeah, because they're hot,
Yeah.
but they're pretty close to being the same.
If it's cold, usually it should be about 1% difference at most. So
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we don't usually see
shouldn't
more
be
than
too much.
about 1.5% fuel oil dilution. We
Okay.
have an allowable level of it, and if it gets too much, we usually change the oil. If we see it again after that, we'd look a little bit more deeper into something.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, Cody, I appreciate you showing us all this.
Yeah,
This
no
is
problem.
and this is your pretty much daily check every day. You run these same checks to make sure that if there's a boat failure at all, you kind of catch it then and fix it.
Yes, sir. 365 days a year. We're this is our shop. We maintain the boats out of. It's not the biggest and most glorious, but it's what we have, and we got some power tools, general tools. The red toolbox is tools assigned to the boat.
Oh,
So
okay.
Most of what we need is going to be right in there. Those are all serialized, and it's pretty good, pretty well organized one. Nice big workbench. Some more specialized tools for the boat. We got some torque wrenches, and then
Miscellaneous
hardware if we need them. We just recently got those organized. I'm pretty happy about that. We know how frustrating it is when you need one stainless metric bolt that you go to the hardware store, maybe they might have it.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're stocked up now.
Awesome.
Yeah.